What's going on, guys? This is Sam, and today I want to do a quick update on the 2018 iPhones. We got a very cool leak recently showing off the front panels, and I also want to talk about new issues that are being discovered with the brand new 2018 MacBook Pros because they're incredibly interesting. Let's go ahead and jump in. So overall, there just hasn't been that much iPhone news over the past couple of days, but we did see one leak that I definitely want to point out right now, courtesy of Ben Gaskin over on Twitter. He's the same person who shared a ton of iPhone 8 and iPhone 10 stuff with us last summer, and he returned today with this image right here, actually two images, showing off the front panels for 3 of the iPhones coming later this year. Now you'll notice immediately there are only 3 models. Once again, no iPhone SE2 shown here. The more that I hear about the 2018 models, the less we hear about the iPhone SE2, the more I'm convinced that the iPhone SE2 just isn't happening. I feel like we got so close, we were almost there, and now it's just complete radio silence. So if we take a look at this image right here, there are 3 models. You've got one with a 5.8-inch display, one with a 6.1-inch display, and of course a giant 6.5-inch display as well. 2 of these, as we've heard time and time again, are going to be OLED. The left one and the one on the very far right, 5.8 and 6.5 inches. And in the middle is the one for what I'm calling the iPhone 9, the LCD model, coming right in at 6.1 inches, but we've also heard it could be 6.0 inches as well. Now, the reason I think this leak is so important is because it confirms what we've been hearing for a long time, which is pretty much that the bezels on the 5.8-inch and 6.5-inch model will remain maybe a little bit smaller or nearly the same, but the model in the middle, the LCD iPhone, once again is shown to feature thicker bezels. Now, why would Apple do this? Why would they put thicker bezels on the cheaper model? Is that to force you to upgrade to the 2 OLED models, the more expensive ones? It's actually a technical thing. I was doing a little bit of research on why this would be the case and found this really great article here. Once again, the sources are linked down below in the description as always, where it talks about why all Android phones with notches and LCD displays are all of a sudden having these bars at the bottom. And the reasoning is that it's a technical limitation of LCD. The way it works is that there is an LCD controller that connects to the main board, and there's one good place to put it, that's at the bottom. And because it cannot wrap around like OLED can be flexible, LCD is not really a flexible screen material. Apple with the iPhone 10, Samsung with like the Galaxy S8, Galaxy S9 can wrap it around to the back and then connect the OLED controller to the main board from the rear of the phone. So you don't have to have anything sticking out. When it's on the front like this on these Android phones, you have to have this little bar at the bottom where it sits. So my theory is that the reason Apple is making the bezels a little bit bigger all the way around the edges, they found a way to shrink the size of the LCD controller. They can leave it on the front like LCD has to be left on the front for the controller, but because it's thicker all the way around, I think that looks a lot better than bezels that look really great on 3 sides and then absolutely terrible and super thick like on an iPhone 8 at the very bottom. And I think most of you would probably agree with me as well. It just looks better, although the bezels are thicker. That's the price we're paying for one last year of LCD iPhones, because I want to say that we've heard in 2019, next year, all 3 of those iPhones will have OLED, true black, beautiful displays. Looking at these images once again, Ben Gaskin actually mocked up how some home screens, or I should say wallpapers, could look on here, and it looks good. You can see the bezels being thicker isn't something that I think is going to be that annoying. I mean, when you're comparing it to the super thin sides of like the iPhone 10 version 2 and the iPhone 10 Plus, they do look a little bit thicker. But I think when the phone's actually going to be in your hand, it won't be that much of a difference. And I think this solution is definitely the best way Apple could approach doing an edge-to-edge display with an LCD screen. I took some inspiration from what Ben did myself and mocked up some other screens of how iOS 12 could look running on these models. I know it's not perfect, it looks a little bit weird, but overall you get an idea of how these phones will look. And honestly, this idea, this version that we're concepting, isn't much different than how it looks on something like the iPhone 10 right now. We've seen this design with a notch at the top, with limited bezels around the edges. So Face ID in all 3 of these models I think is going to be a great change. I think all of you are going to love it. I've been using it on the iPhone 10 for about a year, and every once in a while it doesn't recognize my face or it won't scan with a new pair of sunglasses, but it learns intelligently and fixes any issues I have after 1 or 2 tries of just rescanning my face. The next iPhone story that I want to share with you comes courtesy of Mac It's a Takara, who generally has a pretty good track record. Every once in a while they will get something wrong, but this sounds pretty legit to me. We've heard before that a new 18-watt quick charging, fast, speedy USB-C power adapter, I added as many adjectives there as I could, is coming bundled inside of the 2018 iPhones. And this new report reaffirms that. However, it also mentions that you're not going to be able to buy it outside of one of the new iPhones. Apparently, Apple and the companies they're working with won't be able to produce enough in time of September when the new phones are going to launch to sell them individually in addition to bundling them with one of the new phones. So that will be yet another incentive to buy one of the new iPhones. There'll be a new 18-watt fast charging adapter in there, which will at the very minimum be charging your iPhone at least twice as fast as the really minuscule 5-watt power brick that we've had, I think, since the original iPhone or right after with the iPhone 4. A lot of people don't actually know that the current generation iPhones, like this phone right here, the iPhone 8, support fast charging. If you have an 18-watt adapter, this phone will charge faster than an iPhone 7 or an iPhone 6, even though the battery size is relatively similar. And a lot of people don't know that because Apple didn't bundle a fast charging power brick in the box. The new ones are going to be a lot faster, and they are going to support USB-C because we've also heard that a USB-C to Lightning cable will be taking the place of a USB-A to USB-C Lightning cable. So a lot of things moving forward with USB-C with this generation, but of course we're hearing that the actual port on the phone, at least for 2018, is still going to be Lightning. But I think we heard a rumor recently that said USB-C would be coming next year to the iPhones. We don't know if that's going to be true. Definitely a little bit out of what Apple's comfortable doing. They usually like to stick to their own proprietary ports, but who knows? It could happen, but still Lightning in 2018. So those are the two latest 2018 iPhone rumors. Stuff is looking really, really great with the lineup this year, but what's not looking so great is the 2018 MacBook Pros. YouTuber Dave Lee, somebody who I look up to, makes really great videos on the platform, over 1 million subscribers now, made a video on the new 2018 MacBook Pros. Dave always makes really great stuff about Apple products and PC products and Android phones and iPhones, pretty much all tech in between, and found that if you get the i9 chip variant of the MacBook Pro, the most powerful chip option you can get is throttled when you are doing something CPU intensive. So you pay all this money for a chip that has all this raw power. You can boost it up to a super high level to make sure you're getting these insane speeds on your MacBook, but you can't actually do that because the 2018 MacBook Pros don't have a way to cool a chip that powerful. That's right, Apple is selling a computer with a really powerful chip that can't be cooled. So instead of just having your computer melt, the chip gets throttled. That's just absolutely absurd that Apple would sell a product that cannot be used to its full potential. They are marketing this as a device for professionals, something that people like me who make videos, or photo editors, or creatives, or people doing complex mathematical computations on their computers should be using. And if you go all the way up to get the i9 chip, you can't use all of its power. It gets throttled to a certain level. To illustrate this point perfectly, Dave in his video shows this graph right here. It shows the MacBook Pro from 2018 being cooled room temperature and another one being cooled inside of a refrigerator or a freezer. And the one being manually cooled with an external appliance, a refrigerator slash freezer, I think it exported a video 12 minutes faster than a MacBook just sitting in a room temperature and environment. Obviously, most professionals are not working inside of meat lockers, so that's absolutely absurd and ridiculous and really weird that Apple released this product. Like, at this point, I'm not mad, I'm just confused, but I'd definitely be upset if I had an i9 model that I paid $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, or $7,000 for. I don't know what Apple's going to do to solve this. This is a huge issue. This video has been blowing up everywhere. One of Zolotech's videos has been getting a ton of views doing a comparison of the 2017 model beating the 2018 model. It's just pretty insane. It's almost like they rushed it out and they weren't ready, or they didn't test it properly. Very strange, very weird. Like, some throttling is normal for any CPU, but 12 minutes of throttling on an export time is definitely more than just a little bit. And there's some serious issues here that I think Apple is going to have to answer for. Very shady, very weird. I'll keep you updated on the situation. But if you're looking at the i9 on the MacBook Pro, I'd recommend staying away from now because there are some relatively serious issues that Apple has to work out so that the machine can be cooled properly, and you can use the CPU that you paid for to its full extent. So that is all the Apple news that I have for you in this video. If you enjoyed watching, drop a like, hit subscribe for more in the future, and t-shirts are available at updatebrand.com. For now, I've been Sam. I hope all of you are doing great, and I will talk to you in my next video.